Wednesday and a possible shower for Thursday, with temps staying in the mid-teens. Right now, 3 degrees. More news as it happens on FiveAA.
Pick up a Chrysler 300C luxury with leather interior, advanced safety technologies and 20-inch alloys for just $48,000 drive away. This is FiveAA Breakfast.
And it's 25 minutes to 7 here on a very chilly morning, as you just heard there, with Anne only just above freezing point at the moment. So very, very cold, Smitho.
You'll be all right. Just toughen up.
We'll rug up.
That's all I ask. Hey, it's our great pleasure, as it always is on a Friday morning, to cross to our good friend Selwyn Manning, the editor of the EveningReport.nz over there across the ditch. Selwyn, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Now, we hear that Nauru, which is a sort of province of New Zealand, the government there has a culture of regressive democratic practices. It's all pretty archaic, is it, out on the island?
Yeah, it sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? Apparently there's all sorts going on there where media are being excluded from being able to even talk to opposition politicians. Those opposition politicians have been basically kicked out of the legislature. There's all sorts of other things going on relating to the judiciary. Apparently the only court justice was sacked when the new government came in only a matter of months ago. And the New Zealand foreign minister has been urged by a group of New Zealand academics to basically take a stronger stance against Nauru's government and basically call them to account on all of this.
So does that actually work in practice, or can the Nauru government do exactly as it pleases? And we look at this with tongue-in-cheek slightly, but is there a serious side too, that the people living there are living under a regime that is heading in the wrong direction?
Yeah, well, the serious side is where the academics are coming from, and they are saying basically that there is erosions into the democratic rights of those from Nauru that are gone well beyond the tolerance level. They're saying that it's impacting on Nauru's ability to legitimately take part in the Pacific affairs, like through the Pacific Forum, and they're really saying to the New Zealand foreign minister here, look, New Zealand puts it, in comparative terms, it's only a small amount, but when it comes to Nauru, how seriously they take it will be tested. But the amount of aid that New Zealand puts across to Nauru is around $2.4 million per year. Half of that is attached to the very the Department of Justice over there that has been eroded. So the New Zealand Foreign Minister yesterday, he said, yep, I'll call them to a meeting. So the message went across to the Nauru government, and McCully, the foreign minister here, Murray McCully, he said, I want to meet you guys in Sydney next week. And now the call is on the Nauru government to respond to that. The belief is that if Nauru doesn't take it seriously, New Zealand government then has the opportunity to pull its aid money out. Now, of course, there's a bit of talk around in the New Zealand circles, the political circles, that Australia would normally do this, but Australia is tied up with the Pacific Solution type immigration policy.
That so makes it difficult.
Really, yeah, it can't go in and kick them into shape, if you like, to put it roughly. But, so suddenly, New Zealand is kind of doing this, which stands out because this Nauru is Australia's patch. The other thing is really the backstory to this is New Zealand government's got quite excited of late, in the foreign affairs area. It's been appointed to the United Nations Security Council, like we probably know, and it ascended into chairing the Security Council this week. So it takes over, that temporary position of being the president in the presidency of the Security Council, which Australia had up until recently, only up until last year, at different times. So that's the backstory to it. New Zealand is expected to actually start to play its part in Pacific regional affairs. It has already been called out by the OECD nations for not actually distributing its fair share of aid in the Pacific region, and this is probably the beginning of New Zealand adjusting its policies in that regard, albeit pulling aid out but threatening to try and get some good governance going.
Now, Selwyn, on a much lighter tone, visitors arriving in New Zealand are greeted by a doggy photo.
Yeah, now Yeah, this is a really strange one. I mean, the idea of some traveller coming, like an Australian, going to New Zealand for a bit of a holiday or something like that, arrives at the airport, some uniformed officers approach them, you kind of think, oh no, what's happening here? You know, the dog picked up some kind of scent in my pocket or bag or something. You know, all sorts of things going on there. But then they're presented with a card, which looks very official, but when they look at it, there's a photo of a dog on it. You know, and a bit of a write-up about the dog.
That's a nice greeting, though. a bow wow once you arrive in New Zealand. But obviously, it's a good PR strategy, and it's a welcoming one, and makes visitors aware of what the dogs are actually doing.
Yeah, the dogs, that's exactly right. There's a friendly message to this, but it's a serious underlying purpose to it as well. Each card displays the biography of what they refer to as canine detectives. And this week, Fairfax Media actually reported all of this. And a detective dog, Kelsey, a German Shepherd dog from Wellington, the capital over here in New Zealand, the dog's card states that Kelsey likes to swim, can smell a bone from about 1 kilometre away, and she also has been trained to detect bombs and explosives. So the message is obviously quite fun, but it's also saying, you know, we've got these dogs here and this is their purpose for it, and you're going to have a more safer journey around New Zealand and back to Australia because of it.
Oh, it's a great idea, Selwyn. Thanks for letting us know all about it.
Okay, you were very welcome.
Selwyn Manning there, the editor of the Evening Report.nz.